Hi Stampers, it's Kathy Hamrick again with Country Road Stampers. Today on my blog I featured this card, and I have this poinsettia on the front of it, or poinsettia, however you choose to pronounce it, and I thought I'd show you how easy this is to put together. Of course, I didn't do this in the traditional red, I did it in a white, so I'm actually going to show you how I did it as if you were making it in a white poinsettia. I actually stamped and embossed where you wouldn't have to. If you were doing just a standard poinsettia, you could just stamp with regular ink, as I did on a card I featured last week using this poinsettia. And you can see I've just stamped with red ink on it, and I didn't emboss anything on it, so it's the same look, but yet it's not quite maybe as classy. But I guess classy is probably not the thing to describe that. But anyway, I'm going to show you how easy this is to do. To do this, you use Reason for the Season, and it has these funny little lines that almost kind of look like skeleton leaves, and you're going to stamp those images, and then you punch those out using the coordinating punch, which is a poinsettia punch. And don't wonder about the pink dots, that's for my notification for myself, so I know what these are. So we're going to start with using this, and let me give you a tip. We're going to use photopolymer. And when you use photopolymer stamps, whatever the first thing is you stamp with, whatever that ink was, it will stain your stamps permanently. As you can see, when I first tried this, I did it red, so now they're going to be red. I forgot that there is a trick that you can do so you kind of seal these so they don't stain. And that's if you take your photopolymer and you stamp it in Versamark first. If you stamp it in Versamark, that will seal it. You can clean it off, or you can just leave it as is, but that will seal it so that whatever the next color is you use, it won't make it stay on there. So let me show you. I have Rich Razzleberry here, which is a dark ink that would normally stain really bad. So I'm just going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp right here so you can actually see. And that's, you can see there, it's hardly even stained on there. And trust me, if you were using this with a regular ink, it would stain that immediately. And I'm just going to take just a little bit of spray. Sorry, off camera, I didn't think about that. So I'll just off camera. And you can see now it's nice and clean. Not any of the pink. And like I said, this would have been quite dark with the razzleberry. So that took care of that. So that's just a little tip when you're using your photopolymer stamps. Okay, so let's get back to what I was doing. So I got sidetracked there. You would stamp, and I'm going to just quickly use to show you how, because I know there are some that don't know how to do this. So I just need a scrap, and I'm just going to stamp in Versamark, which of course you can't see because it is Versamark, which is just a watermark. But then I'm going to sprinkle some gold embossing powder on that. I didn't use an embossing buddy, so it's going to stick, but that really doesn't matter because you would punch this out, so it doesn't matter anyway. Then you would heat that, and when you heat it, then it will look like this. Now, different people do different amounts of leaves to make these poinsettias, so it's kind of however you want it. I prefer 5 for a base because it's an uneven number, and that tends to look more natural when it's uneven. If you want to do 4, then you do 4. However many you want to do. There is no right, no wrong, because I don't imagine any two poinsettias are exactly the same. But you got to have a base to make things look a little more attractive. You can start with whatever size circle you want. I'm going to start with a 1 inch for my base. And I'm also going to work on our gel, our silicone gel mat, because then I can put glue on here and nothing will stick to this, so if it dries and glue oozed out, it won't be stuck to it like it would if it was paper. So I'm going to put my 1 inch circle right down on there. And I have 4 of these punched out. No, I guess I already did 5. But let me just show you how easy it is to punch these out. And you just, as I say this, you just slide it right in there till it matches. Punch. Then I like to fold mine up in the middle just to make them look more leaf-like, or realistic, I guess is the word I want. So we're going to fold these up. You could curl them if you wanted, but I just find this much easier. and you can be real type A personality and score right up the middle, but I just keep it simple so I can put them together. Really, the Tombow glue is the best to use here because it will give you some time to work and fudge the leaves a little bit, which is helpful when you're doing something like this. The only thing you really need to pay attention is that the veins that you stamped are all going the same way. So these are all going up. You don't want to do one where the veins are going down because then your flower will look crazy. So I'm just going to put one. Trying to keep the glue off my fingers because that is the biggest thing. You get glue on your fingers and then it transfers to whatever the next thing is. So there's 5 we have in there. Now I like using another layer in between here to build my next layer on, and I'm going to go just a little smaller. I'm going to use the 3/4 inch circle punch. And then I'm actually going to use a dimensional. I'm not going to use the tape to stick this on it, but I'm just going to use a dimensional because it's easier just to push that right in there. Then I'll put glue on top of that. Hope I'm going to get my head in the way. So then we're going to start with the next size, and remember we're just going to kind of fold them in half. Now, I've seen a lot of different numbers for this second layer especially. So I'm just going to tell you that when it looks right for you, that's when you need to stop. I think I must have only done 4 on mine, but I like to put them in between the bigger leaves, like so. 1, 2, and again make sure the veins are all going the same direction. Oops. Now remember, we were using Tombow glue, so we can kind of mess with them a little bit after we get them there if we don't like where they're at. Okay, so there's 4. To tell you the truth, I might want to stick one more, but I don't know where it would. That's going to look like too much. Okay, then the last piece is this little 2 section, which is this one right here, and I'm going to use 2 of those, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue in there and put this right in like so, and then put another one right across, and there should be enough glue oozing out there that that will stick, or not. Probably is, but I don't want this to all fall apart while I'm making it. So you can see that all kind of turns up. Now what I did not do is I didn't put my leaves together when I was first doing this, so that was a dumb moment for me. Now you can stamp the lines just like I did here. I chose not to on both of my flowers because I just didn't want to. I decided I wouldn't because I didn't want to emboss them in gold. So I'm not going to turn this over. I'm just going to kind of wedge that in there for now. And actually, when I did this one, I did it last also, but you might want to do that first. But for me, it just seems like the placement is easier on the leaf when you are nearing the finished one, so you can see what you're doing. Okay. Then I also cheated. There is one little piece right here. You cut 2 of those for the center, and you do that in yellow. Well, when I did this on my trial run, I got glue all over me, so I decided to take it easy and just put that right in the center so I wouldn't get glue all over me and my whole flower would not stick to me. You can see, yeah, stay there. Okay, so there it is. It's that easy to do. Now you'd want to give it just a kind of minute to set up because I put that together pretty fast, and then it will just lift right off of here. I'm afraid if I do this, I'll probably pull it apart. Yeah, I glued the leaf to the table. So that gives you a nice thing to work with. And if you've got it wedged inside your circles, the back will not look ugly. Like so. Of course, then you could even do a bigger one if you wanted so that it hid the back. But this is just very easy to do using your punch, just stamping your images, which again, that was the reason for the season. And it gives you this cool look for a flower. Or you can do it as a poinsettia. That is the traditional color of the red to add like this, and it just really looks nice. Hope that helps you out and you have some good tips from that to use. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.